All right. Welcome, everybody, to Kansas City Oasis, your premier alternative to faith-based community. I'm Nathan Bailey, and I'm going to be your MC today. Woohoo! If you've never been to Oasis, I just want to go over what we're about here. We are, again, secular, and we're based around core values that we hold to be very, very important for our interaction with each other and with you. So those 5 things are: people are more important than beliefs. Meaning comes from making a difference. Reality is known through reason. Human hands solve human problems. And be accepting and be accepted. Those are some things that I think that everybody should strive to live for, and they're what got us here. We're excited to have you here this morning. Our guest list includes Michelle Hall. She's going to be doing our community moment about minimalism. I'm excited about that. It's how to live more with less. Our featured speaker is going to be Jocelyn Rose. She's going to be speaking to us about a pretty intense subject. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about human trafficking, what can be done about it, what are some signs of it, that kind of thing. Very excited to hear about that. Our musical guest is Royal Chief. He's going to be doing some music for us. Yes, thank you. I heard a little bit of a sample earlier. It sounded really good. I'm very excited. So we're going to get started actually with some of that music right now. You want to take us away?
Can everybody hear me?
I think so.
Perfect. How's everybody doing? I'm the Royal Chief. I'm happy to be back. I was on here a few months back. I had a good time, so I'm happy you guys invited me back. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. Got to spend it with their family, significant others. I hope it was love. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing started. This first song I'm doing is called 100 Miles. Everybody can hear me all right? Perfect. Doubting me, y'all know how to bring it out of me. Let the people who been shouting me out, you other people gon' be casualties. On site, no formalities. Long nights thinking strategy. Long time they been counting me out, man. I'm banking that y'all don't account for me. I'm taking what y'all ain't allowed for me. Sit back and watch as the legacy grows. I'm on the hunt while them people play catch up. When they up the stakes, I go Patrick Mahomes. All of that frontin', y'all can't be for real. Remember back in the day, you ain't right with the songs. Back in the day, used to camp for the phones. The harder way, only route to the throne. Hey, y'all don't know what's coming. I've been up to something. Came from next to nothing, 100 miles, I'm running 100 miles, I'm running noon. Y'all don't know what's coming. I've been up to something. Came from next to nothing, 100 miles, I'm running 100 miles. I like when the lights like this. Tell me what's the price of a life like this. Used to pray for the life like this. Then little dice and I just might miss. I might not fit. Say I'm wild, but I'm not quite lit. She like my style, but I might don't hit. I might don't quit. Long as I get ahead, then I'm running it quick. We came a long way from slave ships. Just to slave away on the grave shift. 40 hours for this little low pay slip. At least let your boy get a day shift. My life changed when I first heard spaceships. Full throttle. You can have the numbers. You know I'm rigging the lotto. We ain't got a past, got a future we can follow. 200 miles later, 200 more tomorrow. Y'all don't know what's coming. I've been up to something. Came from next to nothing, 100 miles, I'm running 100 miles, I'm running noon. Y'all don't know what's coming. I've been up to something. Came from next to nothing, 100 miles, I'm running 100 miles.
You don't know what I've been through.
Hey.
You can walk a mile in my shoes.
I've been, no matter, go get her, no stopper, you're gonna. Yo, I done had so many setbacks, had so many that I left back, to the city that I left back. Had to take the time and step back. Keep in mind that every setback's opportunity to get back. Opportunity, don't miss that. Opportunity to live out your dreams. Everything's within your means. Everything ain't what it seems. The good, the bad, the BS that come in between. Everyone ain't on your team. Some living routine. Lost in that day-to-day thing. I'm caught in these makeaway schemes of fame. Chance on the ultralight beam. Long as that 808 ring. As long as it ring off, ain't taking no days off. They playing the game soft, I'm up in the game raw. On journey to gain all, the gurney I may fall. I'm burning the flame tall, the passion of pain. Thinking bigger, see clearer, looking in the mirror. That's what hitters different, hitters better. They sit back and figure, front up in the picture. For the bigger figure, a trigger, flip a floor figure. You ain't never seen a hitter like me. Hey, you ain't never seen nobody like me. You ain't never seen nobody like me.
100
Yes, that song right there was called 100 Miles. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's one of my favorites. It's off my latest project called Groundwork. If you guys want to check that out, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to music, I'm there. Just search The Royal Chief and I'll pop up. This next record I'm about to do is called See Me Now. It's one of my favorites. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. Every day I'm out to get it. The hustle I doubt you can mimic. Whole squad about the business. We can't have no doubts if you in it. Please, homie, keep your distance. I can't get no clout to the critics. If you ain't en route to the digits, if your mind don't amount to ambitions, I'm gold. Stop it running off a hope. Desperation in my quotes. A rover to that money close. Bring the range and the scope. Sick and tired of being broke. 9 to 5, that's a hoax. They used to pay me as a joke. Now I'm dominating in the post. Damn, see me thumbing through them pesos. Summon everything I pray for. Mouths running, what do they know? Draco for you fake. Oh, major moves, we make those. Put my people on payroll. Cut the check when I say so. Them is just my everyday goals. Everything earned. Nothing is given, I know. I'm not concerned. I knew I was meant for this here from the goal. Don't think I ain't put in that labor. Don't think that you did me no favors. Don't think I won't do this thing major. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. Hey, oh love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. Hey, no love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. See me now, but see me later. Saw me yesterday, today you'll see me greater. See the way I met these haters. Saw me fell at first, see now it's second nature. I see I'd rather play it safe for all the odds. Even then I don't see danger. Giving no love to the haters. I signed up for this, I never wave, but all this here for the art. Been that love from the start, that's until I depart. Throwing shade like a dart, but it's some of your parts don't master my heart. Yo, I'm playing it smart. I can see through the dark, man, they talk like a narc. I hear all that bark, get you bit by the shark, and I'm getting my weight up. I'm first to the cake, then I come back for seconds for you, fill your plate up. It's on when I wake up. Someone tell the haters to leave me be. I got some money to rake up. Stuff that you snake up, you say you will Mac, I believe it. With all of these women you make up, just came to cake up like I hit 3 sevens out in Vegas, taking by 100 acres in Jamaica. Oh. Living that way until the day I meet my maker. Oh. Her best friend just touched down, I might go for 2. Take over the whole town, they don't have a clue. That's what I came to do, and I'm just living proof. Yeah, I'm the living proof that everything's earned. Nothing is given, I know. I'm not concerned. I knew I was meant for this here from the goal. Don't think I ain't put in that labor. Don't think that you did me no favors. Don't think I won't do this in major. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. No love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. See me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. Hey, no love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. Hey, no love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. You gotta see me now, but see me later. It's no love when I see my haters. Rather see me down than see this paper. If you don't see me now, you'll see me later. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, I go by the Royal Chief. Jacob told me let him know my PayPal, Venmo. It's all the Royal Chief, TheRoyalChief.
Yeah, thank you. Everybody, a round of applause. If you can, just clap like this, or you can use a little thing at the bottom. It allows you to put a little yellow clapping sign on your thing. we can't unmute for everybody, but we know that you appreciate it. I know I did. It was really good. Thank you. And that's
Thank you.
the Royal Chief. It's important to put the V in front, remember. And
Right.
if you
Yes.
look up, want to look up the Facebook page, I know that we included the link on the event that you all got here with. There's a link to his Facebook page, and you can find in there. And I think that we might be posting that in the chat on Zoom as well, if you want to look for from that way as well. All righty, thank you again. We're gonna move on to Michelle. She's going to be doing our community moment. Our community moment is a time for a member of Oasis or somebody in the community to be able to speak about a subject that they're passionate about, something they want to share with us. Pretty broad on what you can share. If you're interested in doing one yourself, you are more than welcome to reach out to Mark Dixon to be able to schedule one in the upcoming weeks, about 10, 12 minutes long, roughly. And you can talk about pretty much anything. We've had people talk about Nick Cage videos, Nikki. I know that you can talk about Bitcoin, you can talk about finances, economics, accounting, taxes. And I believe today we are going to be getting a talk about minimalism. Michelle, do you want to unmute and help us out with that? How do we do minimalism right?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see everyone. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I think I know everyone here. But if you don't know me, my name is Michelle Hall. I've been going to Oasis for since 2016, like mid 2016. And as far as minimalism, I've been doing it for over 15 years. And I made a little talk about how to get into minimalism, and I had to think about how I got into it, how to start, because it's been so long and I've been doing it for a long time. And also professionally, I'm a librarian. I do research for a law firm. So just a little bit about me. So can you see my screen? Yes. All right. So here we go. So what is minimalism? There are a lot of definitions about it, but this is the one I like the best. Not that one, that's next. It's removing things that distract us from what we value most in life. So we all have there are a lot of distractions. There are, physical things, social media things. Like here I say, it can apply to a lot of areas of life, including your schedule, your digital life, your budget, your home. So today I'm going to talk about stuff in your home. That's what most people think about when they think about minimalism. So I'm not going to go all Fight Club and say the things you owned end up owning you, but I will say a lot of people that do minimalism, they do feel a lot lighter and freer, when they have less stuff. So how do you start? The first thing is the hard part, is going through all your stuff. And there are a couple of different methods to that. You just want to pick a method and go with it. So you can either remove the items you don't want, or if you've heard about Marie Kondo, she says, keep the items you do want. That's going through every single item in your home, which sounds absolutely exhausting to me, but you could go for it. And then instead of trying to do the entire house, focus on one room at a time and do like one category in the room. Like instead of doing all your clothes, just go through your t-shirts. Or if you're doing the kitchen, go through your utensils. Don't try to do everything. It's overwhelming. It's going to take a while. So just pick little categories and go through those. Then get rid of those items. Remove the items from your home. You can donate them. You can give them away to friends and family. You can sell them. I know I just sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace recently, and that was entertaining. So if you've ever done Facebook Marketplace, oh my goodness, or Craigslist, oh my goodness. But it's a great way to make some money off the things you've bought And you can put it towards credit card debt. You can put it towards an activity you'd like to do, or put, in your savings for a vacation. The next thing is organize your stuff. So find a place for everything. So you can easily find it. Like, a good rule of thumb is being able to put your hands on anything in your house in like 10 to 15 minutes of when you think of what it is. Like, I think I could probably find anything in my house within 10 minutes because it has a place. The last part, stop the flow of stuff coming into your home. So not just not buying stuff, but stopping those triggers like unsubscribe or block advertising emails. Unlike all the stores on social media, they don't tell you about their sales out of the goodness of their hearts. They want you to buy money. They want you to buy. They want your money. They want you to come buy stuff from them. So you don't need to like them on social media. They have lots of friends on social media. Don't read or watch things that make you want to buy stuff. Like, if you follow Pinterest things, or if you have magazines that make you like want to buy things, maybe don't look at those things anymore. I like this quote a lot. Think about what are the things that you really like versus what are the, oops, Michelle. Versus what are the things that like materialism or advertising has caused you to like. So think about what you like versus what society tells you to like. And probably the final thing on this is decide what minimalism is to you. Some like hardcore minimalists may come into my house and say, you still have some stuff. Or some people who don't do minimalism at all may come in and be like, you don't have hardly anything. The thing is, I get to decide that. And if you do this, you get to decide what you keep and what you get rid of. It's a self-care thing, really. So you get to decide. And here's a little bit of further reading if you'd like that. And that's all I have for you. Oh, I do have one other thing, which is do not get rid of other people's stuff. That's just going to cause hurt feelings. So don't do it. I know I've done that with good intentions, and my mom didn't talk to me for a summer after I made her get rid of some stuff. So let people get rid of their own stuff. You can encourage them, but don't ever get rid of their things. So that's all I have.
Round of applause. Yes. I know that for me, that is so useful. To add on to that, about like stopping the flow coming in, one of those things is like, just if you're gonna buy something, just wait on it. Like, don't buy it the same day. Like, if you're gonna take something, like you want something on Amazon. I know I was looking at maybe getting a treadmill because I wanted to do more cardio in my house in the winter time. And I can't run. And then I realized after a couple days, I'm like, I don't really like treadmills. They would have to go in the basement, which I don't like going into my basement. I'm like, no, that would be a bad mistake. But it took me a couple days to get there to where I was like, okay, no, how is this really going to fit in my life? And it's like, no. So great advice for us. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. I know that it can be overwhelming for a lot of people to like go through stuff. It's like, everything in my house, what? And it's like, that's great. I love that, like, one room at a time thing. That's really useful. I did miss your Michelle, your introduction of the 3 descriptive words and the warning label. I do like them, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do that. Go over those real quick. So everyone, Michelle's 3 descriptive words that she gave us were geeky, cheeky, and librarian-y, like a librarian. And warning label would be information inside. I'm guessing that's like just a bit like more information than most people are looking for. But yeah, that seems pretty right. That was a little bit nerdy, but it's so useful and practical. I love it. All right, well, everybody, we are going to take our break right about now for 10 minutes. We're going to unmute everybody, send you to a room with some people. I think it does it randomly, and you're going to just be able to unmute and talk to some people and have a chance to get to know more people from Oasis. If you don't feel like doing that, just mute yourself or, turn yourself off and go to the bathroom, get some food, refresh your coffee, whatever you might want to do. All right. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right. I think we've got about everybody back. People will probably be coming in for another minute, but we're probably gonna get ready to get started again. We're gonna have a little bit more music with the Royal Chief, if you wanna get ready. And shortly after we get that song, we are going to have Jocelyn come up. So Jocelyn, if you wanna get ready, we're gonna have you come on right after that. And we're gonna hear from you about some human trafficking and some issues with that. And excited to hear that. Just so that you all understand it, that is a heavy topic, of course. And if you are somebody who that's a sensitive issue for, we do want you to feel comfortable and have that advance warning. It's a pretty heavy topic. So, all right, Chief. The Chief, are you Royal Chief? Are you ready to go?
I'm here.
Awesome. Take it away.
Thank you. I hope everybody's breakout room was great. Mine was. It was exciting. This next record I'm about to do is a song called Wings. It's more of a story, just some of the things I went through, and what got me to where I'm at now. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Yep. Here we go. Sometimes I ask, what you gonna do if this doesn't happen? All the time and things that you sacrifice for this rapping. I try to imagine life without this. I can't fathom. I'd rather see death than see the day my passion allows me to come up short. Yo, I'm way too dedicated. This here was premeditated. At this point, I'm obligated to making it. Seeing all these people with Steve. Acing it. Said if I ever get the chance, I'm taking it. I moved to Atlanta. I had so much to show. The city showed me quickly, man. I had so much to grow. $400 in my pocket, ain't had nowhere to go. Trunk full of J's. I was the freshest homeless person you know. Got linked in a yo. Dude who ran it was from KC. I don't rock with him no more, but I thank him because he gave me a place to sleep. I lived in that building a whole year. On the cot in the hallway by his office, right under the stairs. No care in the world, I'm lying. At night I think about how I care for my girl. I left her back home. Broke her heart when I told her to really do this thing. I gotta do it alone. Alyssa was my everything. I'm talking misses, white picket fences, and wedding rings. I knew that even with persistence, the distance was too much of a strain. She married now and I'm still faithful to this game. Sometimes you gotta open up to pain so you can open up your wings. Hey, so you can open up your wings. I just love the energy that's right here. I want to thank everybody again for letting me come through. Let me vibe out. Have a good time with you guys. I'm gonna get to the second part of this story, just to give you a little bit more about myself. Yo. Sometimes I find myself thinking about how far I got left to go. I lose track of just how far I done came. Some days I find myself thinking about how far I got left to go. I lose track of just how much this done changed. Staying in touch with the past is important. I remember recording in the upstairs room of Rob House on 31st and Norton when tall tees and forces was all that we was sporting. It was grinding until them late nights turned to early mornings. Young homies chasing commas. Going there used to piss off my mama. Going there, I used to drive a Honda. I come home smelling like Seagram's vodka and marijuana. All in all, it was worth the drama. Robert engineer, Black was making beats. Jeremy and CJ writing verses. When CJ wasn't in them streets, the summer times had us beat. The roommate had no AC, and I was making matters worse, laying all that damn heat. God damn. We ain't know we was destined. Only one who knew it was my brother Kevin. To him, it wasn't a question. He believed in me more than anybody else. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I can't thank him enough. I wish I could tell him all that it really means. Show me I could choose my fate. Show me I could chase my dreams. And when I get in he show me how I can open up my wings. Thank you guys so much for having me. Once again, if you like that song, it's called Wings. You can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you listen on. Thank you guys so much.
Like that. That's a strong message there. That's a lot of sacrifice. It's amazing. All right, Jocelyn, are you ready to share? I know you have a presentation.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Perfect. So Jocelyn is a singer-songwriter and blogger and a human trafficking survivor. So she escaped from her situation, and now she's raising awareness about that, telling her experiences and working on ways to empower others to do good for people in those hard situations like what she was in. She's worked with different organizations for materials and training people on how to recognize situations involving human trafficking. So Jocelyn, I know this is a very personal topic, so I just want to really quick confirm you do want this recorded, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's
all
fine.
right. I just want to make sure we had that clear. In that case, I'm going to turn it over to you
Thanks.
with your presentation and take it away.
Thanks very much. So I'm just checking in with Miss Nikki if we have that the PowerPoint all ready to go.
Yeah, give me a second. It is not doing the thing that I thought I would do. So yeah, just introduce yourself a little bit and give me a second here.
Sure. Okay, so my name is Jocelyn. It's very nice to see you guys. I'm just gonna get myself off the screen there so I can see your faces. How is everybody? I hope everyone had a great Christmas or a great Yuletide or a great whatever you had to celebrate. So I am a human trafficking survivor. So we're going to talk a little bit about what human trafficking is. I want to be specific and share with you that we're talking about sex trafficking because human trafficking actually covers quite a broad range of, there's a lot of like little subtopics within that big header. So today we're talking about sex trafficking, what it is, how to combat it, and how to stay aware of what's happening in the world around you, to be able to spot signs of when it's happening. And then also, what do you do if you are in a situation where you're starting to see some of these signs happening? What do you do and how can you help? So that's a good overview. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide. Actually, we're going to go ahead and skip 2 slides. So we're going to go to the what is sex trafficking slide. Sex trafficking is defined as the illegal business of recruiting, harboring, transporting, obtaining, or providing a person, and especially a minor, for the purpose of sex, maintaining unfreedoms, commodifying the body, and all the things that are needed to create the experience of being enslaved. With that definition, slaving is what sex trafficking does. It does not stop, it maintains, it evolves and endures. So who can be trafficked? Absolutely anyone, everyone. The graphic that I included is to try to show you that it's every age, men and women. Most think that it's just women and young girls only, and it's absolutely not true. Young boys and vulnerable men can also be trafficked regularly. Where can sex trafficking happen? Sex trafficking happens absolutely everywhere. Specifically, in the case of minors, it happens anywhere children are. Schools, daycares, places, like anywhere that kids are, it's happening. You can apply that the same way to adults. Basically, anywhere adults are, there's a chance that human trafficking is happening. Both domestically and globally, with victims trafficked within their own country and to neighboring countries and between continents. And yes, that does mean very specifically in the USA too. So this topic is actually quite vast. So to stay within my time limit and everything today, I'm speaking specifically about the US. California, Oklahoma, New York, Florida, and Texas are some of the states with the highest number of calls to the national hotline and the number of survivors that come forward. And that's really important because those are verified calls that are specifically about that. So in Kansas and Missouri, I don't know why my picture's not showing up and it's gone all wonky. Strange. Anyway, in Kansas and Missouri, in this year alone, 812 calls were made to the National Trafficking Hotline in Kansas and Missouri. So that means in 2020, with all the coronavirus stuff that's happened and the craziness and all the things that made our life difficult, 325 cases were legally reported. Those were taken to courts, but 812 were reported. Oftentimes calls are made and things are reported, but it's so difficult to get any kind of legal justice. It's difficult sometimes to prove human trafficking. So a lot of times they aren't being followed through on. In Kansas and Missouri, the main sort of the main places that you can find human trafficking are really found within illicit massage parlors. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. That was fine. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story, and I'm just going to sort of speed through it because we've got a lot to cover. So, oh, go ahead and go back. So my legal adoptive parents were very wealthy, white, respected members of their community. They were active members of a church, both on the worship team and sometimes even serving in the children's church as I was growing up. Charlie is someone that I will be referring to. He was a very wealthy, white, older man who was very respected by those he was around. And my legal parents and Charlie look like anybody else. They're just people. So I grew up singing in the church. I am an atheist now, but I grew up singing in the church, serving on the worship team, going on vacations with my parents, and I did well in school. I didn't get good grades, but I really loved school, and I made fast friends with my teachers. I was kind, compliant, quiet, gentle, and submissive. I would come across as very naive, very innocent. I was often told I lived in a fantasy world. I would also space out for long periods of time, and I couldn't always tell you exactly what I was doing during that time that I would lose. I had few friends, and I often kept to myself. I would sing and entertain myself. I think that's how I developed my love for music and singing. I had a very active imagination, and I read books like they were food. I followed the rules without question, and never spoke badly about anyone. I was highly sensitive and could easily sense when others were hurting. My parents always just said that I was an old soul, or a deep sheep to anyone who asked why I behaved the way I did. I was extremely skinny. My hair was always oily. I smelled like stress sweat, regardless of the numerous showers I took and the deodorant I wore. And I constantly dealt with health factors such as stomach ulcers and bladder infections. I got sick very easily, and teachers became used to my missing school. Eventually, I would become homeschooled until I was in 6th grade, and that would really solidify my parents' reputation of being wonderful, loving parents to my sister and I. And that is important, and I'll come back to that. So keep all of that in mind while I share the next little section with you. Oh, no, sorry, go back, so sorry. I was born in Palm Springs, California, in poverty to a woman who was strung out on drugs and alcohol. She often prostituted herself, and so the first documentation of sexual violence towards me would occur when I was just a baby. It would be documented again when I was taken out of her care at 2 and left in the care of my uncle and his friends. I was then taken out of their care and legally adopted by a couple between the ages of 2 and 4. They were very poor at that time, and both had been severely abused in their own childhoods. Living with them, I would then be trafficked from the time I was 5 till the time I was 17 years old. And by trafficked, I mean sex trafficked. For 12 years, I would be terrorized, beaten, mentally and physically tortured, and I would be raped repeatedly. Sometimes there would be 8 different men in a single night. When I was 12, I remember I couldn't move from the hips down for 3 days as a result of severe abuse. I remember being so frightened that I might not walk again. My wrists were repeatedly broken from the ties, or sometimes chains that held me to my bed, or hanging from the barn ceiling. I often had burns on my face where my mother would hold a hot curling iron, bruises hidden by clothing where my father would beat me with his fists, his belt, or often a 2x4. My blood sister, who was adopted with me, often got it worse than I did. I'll never forget the first time I saw my mother getting paid after I was trafficked. $5 was placed on the kitchen counter that I hadn't even reached the same height of yet. The main man I would be trafficked to was named Charlie. He was the very worst of humanity, and if evil had a face, it was his. My parents were abusive, but Charlie, he was nefarious. He hurt me because he enjoyed causing pain. He was the face of my nightmare, and often still is. At only 14, I found out I was pregnant. I kept it a secret for as long as I could, but eventually I was found out. I was tied up and put in an SUV and taken to an abandoned building and given a forced botched abortion. Eventually, Charlie took over the trafficking. He and my parents made a deal. He had full control of the trafficking side of things, and my parents got a cut of the money. What Charlie did is beyond words, and I've only shared those details with my counselor and my boyfriends, and I won't share them here. With all of that being said, I want to remind you of some really important facts. My parents grew to become very affluent in the community. They became wealthy, and as wealthy white people with strong ties to the community and in the church, they were nearly beyond scrutinization. No one would ever suspect them of anything. And that's really important because exploiters or abusers don't just groom their victims, they groom entire communities. Charlie was wealthy, white, and an older man who was very well respected. So that means he was really beyond scrutiny. No one would ever suspect him of anything. With all of that in mind, let's move on to how do I spot the signs of sex trafficking. There's going to be a lot of information here, so if you would like, if you're interested, what I'll do is I'll just sort of save some of the information that's coming up, and I'll just put those into maybe the private group section or something. I'll work that out with somebody and put it out there so that you have access to these things. How do I spot the signs of sex trafficking? He or she is excessively monitored or controlled by a parent, guardian, or older partner who seems to care for their needs. He or she has become detached from family members and friends. He or she is unable to give answers about their schedule, home life, living and work locations, or conditions. They may appear fearful when you ask them those types of questions. He or she may have numerous inconsistencies in his or her story and personal information. That's in part because they're trying to, you have information that you've got to cover, keep covered up. And also there's so much shame that comes along with being trafficked. You just don't want anyone to know. So sometimes that might be it. They might also be under threats and things like that. That's fairly common. He or she may have excessive security members at his or her work or home. For example, security cameras, boarded up windows and doors, heavy window coverings. You might see constant movement of men or women in his or her home or workplace. He or she shows signs of physical or sexual abuse. For example, bruises, cuts, burns, malnutrition. So by malnutrition, I mean sallow skin, dull eyes, unhealthy looking hair. They will often be submissive, jumpy, fearful, depressed, or appear in a daze or not present. They may be accused of living in a fantasy world. He or she may suffer from chronic illness, ulcers, psychological disorders, PTSD, have substance abuse problems, or sexually transmitted diseases. He or she may carry a hotel key card, lots of money, or self-defense items like knives. I actually carried a rather large pocket knife till my senior year of high school. Every day, and actually the security guard found out on the last day, and he was kind and didn't have me escorted off the property. There is a sudden presence of boyfriends, often older but not always, or he or she may get a branding or a scar or a tattoo of a name that is not their own, or just a tattoo that they're unwilling to or reluctant to explain. So what do you do once you spot the signs? And on the bottom of each slide, I've included the National Human Trafficking Hotline phone number. If you guys can, do me a quick little favor and stick that in your cell phones. It's always better to have that in your phone. That way, if you see something happening that shouldn't be, or you just have this like gut feeling, or someone discloses something to you, it's always better to have those numbers and be able to take care of it right away. So you can always call that hotline, which is 1-888-3737-88. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. So sorry. It's 1-888-373-8888. Or you can text help to be free at 233-733. You can also email. Some other things that you can do, you can volunteer, you can ask anti-trafficking organizations in your community how you can support them. That can be giving money, that can be providing food, or it can also be, thank you JJ for including that. It can also be things like little kits. Sorry about that, guys. It can also be like little kits to give out. Also use your skills. Don't make this a big thing. You don't have to do something big and grand to make a difference. If you are an artist, use that as your medium. If you are a blogger or a writer, write about it. If you are a nurse or a doctor, you can encourage your colleagues to take training that will help cover all of that. There's so many things that you can do. You can also contact your state representatives and ask them specifically how they're addressing human and sex trafficking. Remember that empathy disrupts exploitation. You don't have to do something big or grand, just do something. So some safety tips for adults. Teach your children, this is the biggest thing, and I get really emotional about it. Teach your children that they have bodily autonomy, and do not make them hug, kiss, or touch anyone that they don't want to. That includes you or your partner, their your grandparents, their grandparents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, neighbors, or friends. You will ruffle feathers with this. You will. But it's the most important thing on this list. Most children are abused within family. And it's so important that your children know from the very beginning that their body is their body, and they don't have to hug or kiss anyone that they don't want to. Work hard to establish trust and open communication with your children from day one. Make sure you know how to contact and locate your child at all times. Have a list of emergency numbers for your child if they cannot contact you. Take an active role in your child's activities, but also don't smother your children by being a helicopter parent. Teach your children to have confidence in themselves and who they are, because traffickers and abusers, it's less likely for them to go after kids like that. As tired as you may be, always listen when your child tells you they have a nightmare. There might be a reason they have it, and often a child can't tell you something that's that extreme that happened to them, but they can tell you that they had a nightmare, and if you're paying attention, you might see a sign that way. I disclosed multiple times to different people growing up. In a lot of cases, they actually contacted my parents to see if it was true. That is something you definitely don't want to do. Always call the police if it's happening immediately and you're seeing something and it's an emergency situation. Otherwise, call the human trafficking hotline. Teach your children the difference between a safe and an unsafe secret. Question and monitor anyone who takes an unusual interest in your children. Trust your instincts. If an adult is more interested in your children on a regular basis than they are in you, you might just clock that as a quick red flag and keep an eye on the situation. So teach your children that they can be rude to any adult if they feel unsafe or threatened. This is so important, and they need to hear it directly from you because it's been so deeply ingrained, particularly in little girls, that they need to be polite and kind and never upset people. Check websites for registered sex offenders in your neighborhood, near your children's schools or babysitters. And then also really monitor what your kids are doing online. And also like cell phones in bedrooms and things like that. The main place that children are being groomed right now are places like Instagram. So it's a really important thing to keep an eye on that. Some quick tips for children. This is something that I'll just clip right through because I don't think we have any kids here with us today, of course. But this is important things for you to maybe share with your kids. Know your name, address, and phone numbers. Learn how and when to call 911. If you're scared of someone, run to safety. It is okay to be rude to grown-ups if you feel unsafe. You don't have to hug, kiss, or touch anyone that you do not want to. Learn the difference between a safe and an unsafe secret, and beware of an adult who tells you to keep secrets from your parents. Don't let anyone on the phone or at the door know that you are home alone. If you ever get lost in a store, ask the closest store clerk or police officer to help, and then stay where you're at until you're found. If anyone ever grabs you to try to take you somewhere you do not want to go, scream as loud as you can, bite as hard as you can, kick as hard as you can, and fight as hard as you can. Never trust anything that person tells you. And as soon as you can, run away as hard and as fast as you can from that person. Then tell someone safe what happened. I realize that these are all really difficult things, and you might not feel comfortable talking to your kids about something that's so heavy. But the reason why it's so important is if you do not talk to them, you're doing your children a disservice. It's so much better to have those talks from day one, than to have something unwanted happen. So have those difficult talks. I know it's difficult, but it's important. Avoid using shortcuts when walking from one place to another. Direct routes are so much safer because they're more public. Tell your parents if a trusted adult is making you feel uncomfortable or is asking you to keep a secret from your parents. I tell when I was a nanny, I would tell kids to listen to their uh-oh voice. Every kid knows what that means. Never talk to someone online without your parents' permission, and never send photos of yourself to someone that you met online. Remember that you can be the one who makes a difference. Things that we will do moving forward with the purpose of bringing awareness to and ending human trafficking will at times seem small and ineffectual, but everything makes a difference. The art that you will create, the conversations you will have, the things you teach your children, and the love that you put into the world with action causes a world of difference. I want to leave you with a quote by Elie Wiesel. He said, "I swore never to be silent whenever and wherever human beings endure suffering and humiliation. We must always take a side. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the tormented." So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for giving me the honor of your time. And thank you for listening to something that's so important to me. So if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Absolutely, Jocelyn. Thank you for sharing. Everybody give her a round of applause. I know she can't hear, but that was wonderful. Yes, put your questions in the chat. I already saw a couple. I'm gonna try and put them in as much order as possible. But first of all, could you explain what is the difference between a safe and an unsafe secret? You may have made that clear, but I didn't maybe catch it.
I probably didn't explain it because I knew that there is a chance that I might run over on time. There was a ton of information to try to get through. So a safe and unsafe secret, like a safe secret that kids can keep from their parents. It's your mom's birthday tomorrow. Don't tell her what you got her for a gift. Unsafe secret, don't tell her that we did this today. Don't tell your parents that you cried today. Don't, and if you tell kids to listen to their uh-oh voice and share with a safe person when they have that happen, or if they feel uncomfortable, then you can monitor that situation moving forward, unless they specifically say, he or she touched me here, he or she made me feel uncomfortable by doing something specific. Ooh, sorry, that was totally on my end. That was my battery. So always believe your child. Children aren't going to make this stuff up. They aren't. Always believe your child. You don't have to jump to the conclusion if this person's making you feel uncomfortable, that they're being abused. It just means don't leave your child alone in the room with that person moving forward. Keep an eye on the situation and closely monitor it.
Okay, I think that's a great thing. I know a lot of kids and people who have been abused. It's just hard to, a lot of people, like, it's like, well, why wouldn't you tell somebody that? It's like, well, you were saying, it's like, it's a shame. They don't feel like they know anybody they can trust. So
There's
I feel like
there's
that's so
also
important.
threats are so common. So in my situation, it was a little bit different because it was my parents, but also I still got some threats with other types of abuses that I didn't cover today. So if you tell anybody, we will leak the photos that we took of you, and the way that people see you will never be the same. So you have to earn those photos back. That's really common for traffickers to do. if you want people to continue thinking of you in the same way that they always have, you know, you're going to have to do what we tell you to do. It's such an evil tactic, but it's very common. Also, they'll threaten pets and family. My parents, once Charlie took over everything, and I can talk about him now because he's passed away. So here, I'm just going to read a quick question here. Oh, those are my adopted parents, not bio. Yeah, so my parents were threatened once Charlie took over, and then also my pets were threatened. And when you mix all of that together, particularly in my case because I'm a minor, there's just you want to try to be as compliant and try to avoid as much pain as possible. Then there's all the shame, and you don't want to tell anybody. And then there's also, this is really important, when someone discloses to you, if that ever happens, your response will make the difference of whether they'll ever disclose again. So I disclosed to my music teacher at one point, and my vocal teacher. He called my parents and asked if it was true. I don't even get the logic behind that, but that is common because a lot of people just don't know what to do, so they panic and they just do the first thing that comes to their head, which is, well, that can't happen. I'll just make a call. Always believe the victim and take logical, non-emotive, if possible, steps to help that person.
Oh my goodness, that is like the worst thing. It's like, yes, of course that's me. You know, it's like, what are they supposed to tell me? So
I don't know.
Piggyback well on another question that I didn't see, but I haven't seen. And I think you started into it. It's like, is that how you ended up getting out of this with your music teacher, even though they kind of botched it up?
No.
How did this story end up with you getting out of it?
Yeah, so the actual trafficking ended when I was 17. And that was because Charlie died. Charlie was the main person who was in charge of all of the trafficking. And when he died, everything sort of collapsed in on itself. The main circle of people that trafficked to sort of dissipated. And I think Rick and Debbie had wanted to somehow, because they started getting threats as well. So I think they wanted to try to escape from their involvement in it as well. So everything just sort of collapsed in on itself. But I wouldn't actually escape the house until I was 21. Or I was right, I guess I was 20. I was almost 21. And I left to go to a conference, and I just never went back. I did eventually go back with some friends to try to get some of my things, and my clothing was burned. All of my childhood pictures, which I really wish I had some of them, those are all gone. All of my books, all of that. So I really had to start nothing. When I left, I had a suitcase for a weekend because it wasn't actually my intention to stay. I just realized, oh, I don't actually have to go back. So I still have to be careful with my location and things like that, because they haven't really given up trying to cause problems. So, and the only thing I can say about that is hurt people, maybe. And also, I just don't think they're probably all completely right mentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate the insights, especially for your kids. You know, like some of those things I would not think about, you know, twice. I'd be like, oh, of course, give your grandma a hug. You know, it just seems like it's a normal kind of thing. But the
Yeah, that one
is very
is the
important.
one that I'm most passionate about because so there's actually it's great because it's floating around Facebook right now. There's this little story of a grandpa tickling his granddaughter, and your kids will look to you when they feel uncomfortable. Whoever the safe person is in their life, they'll look to that person. They won't, as children, be able to say stop right away, oftentimes. And it can be something, like I said, as commonplace and normal as tickling. But in this story, she looks at her mom, and her mom steps in and says, "Okay, she needs you to not touch her now. She's done playing. She's not interested in the tickling." Um, and in this, in that particular story, it happens normally. His feelings were hurt, and he's like, "Well, I'm just playing with my grandkid. I can tickle her if I want to." So there is backlash with this, but when the mother stepped in for her child, I think when children see a parent or someone trusted in authority stand up for them, it gives them the courage to be able to go, "Oh, I can do that in the future." The
Yeah.
chances of that child being abused in the future is already down by a big percentage.
Yeah, kids learn from us so in so many ways. It's hard to keep track, and it's hard to know what the precedents we set are. And that's one where it's like it's important to have that message communicated to your kid through things. There's I think we're out of time for questions. I do apologize. I know there was one or two more questions in there in the chat that we want to go over, but we're out of time for today. Maybe we can have you speak about it some other time and have
Sure.
a different angle on it or whatever. But
And
we're
I'll
gonna,
be here a little bit after the recording ends. You guys want to
there
talk?
will be more time. There will be more time for sure. Thank you so much. It's very, very personal. And we really honor and appreciate your openness about it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Whew. Deep breath. All right, everybody. Hope you appreciated hearing from Jocelyn and about human trafficking, and also about minimalism and keeping and improving your personal life and the lives of others. That's something that's so in line with what we do here at Oasis. We want you to take care of yourself. We want you to take care of each other. We want to share good ideas, and I think we definitely met all of those criteria today. I'm very happy. We're going to move on to our final music session. Have one final song here. And during that time, if you would consider giving to Oasis, we are a 501c3 organization. All of us, myself, Jocelyn, we're all here volunteering to make a difference here. And so we just would encourage you to consider giving. There is several ways to give. You can use giving. I think you can go on our website. There's Facebook, I believe you can give. You can text a number. I'll put it in the chat. If you want to text that way, you can text the number and it will help you donate. We accept credit cards, debit cards. We don't really do cash anymore for obvious reasons. But if you want to consider giving, that would be much appreciated and help us continue to be the human hands that help solve other people's problems. So, the Royal Chief, would you mind playing us out?
Yes, sir. I can do that. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say, thanks to Michelle and Jocelyn for speaking, especially Jocelyn for her courage, and sharing her story, and educating, me personally on some things I didn't know about. So I thank you for that. I'm gonna do this last song for you guys. I also want to thank everybody who, who was sending the Venmos in and donating. It's an interesting time for me as an artist, not being able to do shows and tours. So I really appreciate that. And for if anybody would like any merch, I sell hoodies and T-shirts and all of that stuff. So if you would like any of that, just go to theroyalchief.com. I'll post that in the comments. I got some nice stuff there. So if you want to support further than that, please do that. And thank you guys so much again for having me. I'm gonna do this last song. It's called Pipe Dreams. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey, it's one of my favorites right here. It's for all the dreamers, all the people with ambition. Yeah. Pipe dreams, all faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing, I stay on my schemes. Pipe dreams, all faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing, I stay on my schemes. Got pipe dreams, yeah. Pipe dreams for all my people with ambition. Everybody out there grinding, working towards something. Hey, 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 here we go. Pipe dreams, all faith in what's not seen. Knowing I don't know what life brings, hoping that I do the right things. Dark times I've seen, riding through 'em with my high beams. Clear vision that Visine when I drop these 16s. That's light work. If I do this here enough, it might work. Just enough to turn it to my life's work. Had to double down and put the mic first. Southern bound in search of my perp. Got to run around so much my thighs hurt. Man, they turned it down and had my pride hurt. Had to turn around and show 'em my worth. Come around and say they bad it, I doubt it. Get rich off of trash. It's tragic. The fact is the game would do better without it. Wonder the land like I'm Alice. Wand in my hand like I'm Albus. The flow here is magic. I'm painting these pictures so valid and then go to sleep on the pallet. Of course I got malice. Push till I live in the palace. I'm sending them clips that you got us who challenge the talent. On this quest to get live. You can't question my drive. Question my pride. Do your best to get by. You ain't got this inside. I'm out to get mine. I'm running the race. You wasting your time. Just running in place. Out of my mind. I'm not in this space. Homie, I grind. Homie, I chase. Ayy, pipe dreams. All faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing. I stay on my schemes. Pipe dreams. All faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing. I stay on my schemes. Got pipe dreams. Got pipe dreams. I got pipe dreams. Pipe dreams. Hey. Ain't no faith without action. Find my way through distraction, time passing. I don't want to be 60 regretting my life like what happened. Can't fathom, went to work and my boss had a nerve to come question my passion. Trick, I dream chase for myself. Homie, your dream belong to someone else. Forget the traditional. Them old ways, homie, we unconventional. Since school days, had my own set of principles. Went through a phase, had to learn how to move for the minimal. They gotta know I need all my residuals all. Build health, build wealth, build self. Recruit my dog, show them all how to ball. That's build self. Get it all, give it all back. We gotta build self. Yeah, they try to deter me. Yo, if it's BS, it don't concern me. Had to trust in the journey. Listen, your time is not a worry. This time is not a hurry. When it's my time, it's no mercy. Forget all the critics that curve me. Turn y'all to crickets, don't worry. Got no limits like Percy. To the day that they hang up my jersey, I chase these pipe dreams. All faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing. I stay on my schemes. Pipe dreams. All faith in what's not seen. Don't play this life thing. I stay on my schemes, got pipe dreams. You will never decide the city. The chase is how we, however long it. You will never decide the city. The chase is how we came up. Thank you guys again for having me. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to coming back at a later date. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Our pleasure to have you. All right, everybody. We are about at the end of our program time here. Thank you so much to everybody who's here, who made it. We appreciate seeing your face. You are part of the community, and you contribute every time we get to see you here and talk to you and hear about your life and interact with you. So thank you for being here. Thank you to our guest presenters, everybody who made this possible, including myself. If you want to stay for just a little bit afterwards, we're going to let everybody unmute afterwards, and you can just kind of have a little bit more social time. I think Jocelyn said she's interested in answering a couple more questions if you have them. I know I would be interested in that. We are going to end the recording and then move on to that. And yeah, that's the end of our official time this week. We will see you next week.